Boop. We're live, Jimmy. Welcome to another edition. What do we got here? It's the 16th of January already into the new year.
Already half in the month. Wow.
I know. Can you believe that? It's flying through. And
No.
I think Jimmy's going to be in the freezing weather tonight. So if you guys want to go out there and keep your groceries on his property, you can. We'll keep it nice and cool. He was 33 degrees the other morning when he got in. That's disgusting, and that should never happen. That should be wrong in Florida. So we have some guests tonight. We have Dr. Maritsa Tellez. She's going to have some pretty wild hair, we were told, because she was killing everybody with volleyballs. I think that's what she said, although don't quote me, I'm a little buzzed. However, that should be exciting. And later on the show, we have Ricky Martin and Jeff Goldblatt coming in. Those guys are pretty much a jack of all trade, from tattoo artists, body piercers, to people who hold snakes without snake hooks and venomous ones. And Brittany Barbieri coming in as a ufologist. So I'm going to start off right now. I'm going to bring in Maritsa. Let me get her on here. Boop.
Hi.
Hey.
What's up, Maritsa?
My hair is a little calm. I try to calm it after beach volleyball.
I like it.
Yeah.
And there's Brittany. What's up, B?
Hey guys, how's it going?
It's going good. It's good.
Good.
So start it off about what is, because we can touch on a few of those things too. Maritsa, Florida drama, exactly. What is that? Now that was a question by Flavia. Want to know what's up, Ange? So I want to make sure. Come on.
No, so what happened was Jimmy, actually you and Jimmy may not have met Darcy. Darcy is the CRC program coordinator, and she is very crazy and the comedic of the whole group. And she'll just start babbling off. And yes, last night we were at a restaurant after doing outreach all day in a village about crocodiles, and she just starts going off about Florida people. And we're like, well, what do you think about Floridians? And she's like, they're so dramatic. They are more dramatic than a woman, than a high school. They're just so dramatic. They're just so dramatic. And
more
so
dramatic
I
than a
said,
woman, and you didn't cancel her for that?
I know. Because I mean, at the end of the day, right? So
It's okay, but I think we all are a little dramatic. You Belizeans don't seem to be much different, Marissa.
Oh, what?
Very
It's
Oh, what? The
chill.
island life? You're all laid back and stuff.
She's an
Super
island
laid
girl.
back.
You need
Totally
to do your
laid
hair
back.
and corn on the cob.
start
Get like
that
those
shit.
guys and do. I'm an island
my
girl.
God.
And put it on your
Hey,
thing. That would be
we
so
drinking
cool.
those panty rippas, man, and we are chill.
Oh my God,
It's chill.
Flavio has brought those back to the States. That's all he ever talks about anymore.
He only wants to drink the panty rippas now. That's all he ever wants to drink. And it's so funny. Like,
That's
he's
all he
like,
does
oh
when
yeah.
he's out in the garden. And they're like, I'm not sure what that is, sir. You go in some dive bar, they serve whiskey and beer, and he's like, yeah, like a panty. He's the only guy in there drinking this fucking drink.
I want a penny ripper.
That's awesome. I'm so excited. So yeah, so the drama, I know I have to put comic relief in there. So the drama is what is it? What are we being dramatic? Joe, what's up, bud? What are we being dramatic about?
I think with Darcy, I have all the Floridians that have come. So, there's Flavio, there's Joe
Not very
Wazlewski.
dramatic.
Well, no, he's not very dramatic, but like Joe's a
Very
fun guy to
dry.
go out with. No, he's
Yeah.
like, when you're out in the field with him, he is so much fun. Like we went out.
Yeah, he's in his
catching-
element. I agree.
When he's in his element, he
Yes.
is spot on.
I agree. What's up, Judy? I agree. So that's the drama. And so Flavio and I were talking. I asked him earlier because he made a statement that he hated horses, and I want to know what he meant by he hated horses. But there was a reason for that. He used to
How
work
can
for
you
the
hate
racetrack.
horses? That's like
Well,
hating. Like
I know, but I mean, I can understand where he's coming from because by trade, I am a farrier. Most people don't know that. So, there'll be jokes about that later, but farrier. So I do horses' feet, or did. I haven't in a while, but I did. And I still have the equipment. However, we talked about working with horses, and horse people are by far more dramatic than tiger people or croc people, period, end of story. And to top it all off, they're about 5 times as wealthy. So they can treat you like shit, and they have what Jimmy references as fuck you money.
Bro, you're frozen. I don't know if I can
can't hear Jimmy anymore. You guys still with me? Did I lose you?
oh wait, there you are.
Oh,
There you are.
You were frozen.
You guys hear me?
You were
Oh my
frozen,
God.
but you're
If you can
fine.
hear me, I've got to jump.
Oh, and now he just went off.
We'll be back.
Bye.
It was frozen.
Hey,
Hi, Sarah.
how's it going?
Hey,
Happy Sunday.
I can't hear.
It just said happy fun day. All right, I'm playing cornhole with an ass, so. Hi, guys.
Oh, that's
love
cool.
you. Bye. All right,
Bye.
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 So, go ahead.
Cameo by Sarah. I love it. A Sarah cameo drive-by.
Yes.
Sorry about that,
Well,
guys.
I am
I
in
had
the
to
master
reboot my
bedroom,
Bluetooth
so.
again. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes, you're
Yeah, we
good.
got
Okay,
You're
I had to
good.
reboot the Bluetooth again. Sorry about that. We can't talk about anything on here or we'll get kicked off.
He's been tapped.
But I did see Sarah pop in. So yeah, there's a lot more dramaticism in that, and that's what he meant by hated horses. Not so much that the animal itself, just that industry is pretty rough itself. And you start hearing that a lot about crocodiles and alligators and any type of stuff you get into. There's always going to be dramaticism. I'm sure you deal with it, Marissa. I'm sure you've had interns you wanted to drown. I can think of one.
Wow.
Oh, that's right. Jimmy got to sit with him on a kayak.
Yeah,
I did. It was a lot of fun. Yeah.
I remember
never
when
again.
Jimmy's boat started taking water. He goes, "Matt, mine's sinking. You're taking this one. I'm taking yours."
Never him again, but Marissa, I'll go back on kayaks with you. That was a blast. But
That was fun. That was fun. Now,
yeah,
if I
yeah,
like besides Troy just screaming like a little baby because of spiders and me getting off of a kayak to go catch a 3-foot crocodile that is like not going to do anything.
She missed it.
No, I didn't even go for it because you're like,
Yes, you did. You
"Don't
got
leave
off.
the kayak, Marissa. Oh my God." And I was like, it's fine. Like I do this all the time. Like I sunk in the mud, but like they're
Ugh.
going away from us.
God.
And then you were like, oh my God, there's dirt and there's mud
I am
in the
that way.
kayak.
Anybody who knows me knows I cannot stand to be dirty. It's like my thing. Like when someone shows up around me with dog hair all over their body, I start dry heaving. I have to walk away.
That's so true. He can't.
Hey,
He
let me
can't.
tell you
I
something.
can't, right, Jimmy? You know.
Nope, I do. Yeah, you can't. He can't. Nope. He
I'll
won't
sit up with
sit
Jimmy and wash
down.
my hands about every 10 minutes, get them dirty again, and go wash up. That's just me, man. I can't stand being dirty. Oh.
Yeah.
Hey,
No.
Maritza, when we first went out with you, we were only supposed to be out, I think, for an hour. That was like the trip. And then it
was like
out
2
to where- I
hours.
think
It was like 2 hours.
but it turned out to be 6 hours or something like that.
We're
It
on
was a
Belizean
long
time.
fucking trip.
Ah,
It was a long
We're on
trip.
Belizean time. Well, because what was gonna happen was we were just gonna do this whole route, right? It does a loop. And so we were just gonna do just like one little part. And I asked you guys, I was like, do you want to keep going? Do you want to keep going? And it seemed like you guys kept wanting to have an adventure. And so we did the whole loop. And so that took us like 4 or 6 hours, but we were fine. We had enough
Oh, it
water
was
and
fun.
food.
No, it was
Yeah.
a good time.
Yeah,
Climbing
it was fun.
logs and getting out of the boat and shit. It was a blast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
it
didn't get to
was
see
fun.
the
It was
croc
fun.
though. I think you and Troy, you all got to see the crocodile that swam under your
Yeah,
boat.
Because it went over
that
top
big
of it.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was after I thought he was touching my ass on the kayak.
You know, just for the record, for anybody who's tuned in, if you do that and you don't know that story, those were fish that jumped in there and just happened to land on the sit on top and was just tapping her. And she didn't say anything. So I thought, well, if she's enjoying it, then that's pretty cool. And then she kind of asked me, "Are you touching my ass?" I'm like, "Yeah, no, that fish is." And then she grabbed that fish and threw it out. Because I mean, that's something I would never do, Jimmy. Like somebody you just met, hey, let me just flip your cheeks.
No, but it was just like I thought you like at least had something. You were like poking me, and at first I thought, oh, maybe he's looking for like he sees something. So I'm kayaking. I'm like looking in the water because I'm thinking he doesn't want to scream out or something because there's something cool because there is jaguar in that area. And then it kept going, and I'm not seeing anything. I'm like, are you touching my ass? Like what the?
I know.
But
I
it was
couldn't
just a
believe it. Let me
fish.
tell you something though. That
Just a
fish was
fish.
getting in there. He was getting in there, man.
He was
taking advantage. That fish was named
Hey, what is
David
it?
Copperfield.
Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming.
That fish,
That
bro.
was
That
so
fish, he
good.
kept going in, and then he like tried to get in there, and she like jumped up and flicked him out, and he shot out of there. But it was the best night of his life.
he's probably telling that story now to all
Yeah,
his friends.
just like how we're telling this story. Just like how
Yeah,
we're
it
telling the
was pretty
story.
weird. I just still can't believe she thought that I would do something like I would even be that type of person. Like, well, he poked me. Like, I think your shoulder would be fine. Normally, I would just tap you with the oar. Hey,
I mean, we were
Yeah.
joshing so much up to that night because that was your last
We were.
night. that was your last night. So again, I at least thought you got something. You were just like poking me. I'm like,
not like that. Boy, that was, can you imagine? After I heard that, I'm like, man, what the hell? And for those of you listening that don't know what the term is, we're old. So the word joshing means we're all fucking around.
Oh my God.
So we were torturing. Pretty much everybody was mad. Everybody was mad at the Frenchman.
yeah, he was talking.
I mean, he was just annoying the girls, because he just always knew everything and he was better than them. And I thought they were going to mug him and beat his ass and leave him in the jungle, and we weren't going to talk about it anymore. I really thought that was going to happen. I mean, we're in Belize.
If he told me one more time how to fucking row a boat, I'm telling you, man, it's gonna be a problem. Like,
well, he was telling Maritsa how to do stuff, about to write shit down. Then he dropped her pencils in the water.
Yeah, I remember that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably still there.
Wow.
It probably is still there. And we get these interns. Honestly, we have a whole process with the CRC that we vet through the people that come here. And, we've had 2 people slip. He was one of them. But they really want to show their stuff, and they just get that overconfidence where you're like, yo, bro, how long have you been doing this? Oh, I've been doing this 15, 17 years. I might know something about crocodiles, and I've been living in Belize,
But there's, in his defense, there's a shit ton of crocodiles in France. So, I mean, he probably saw a lot of them there.
Oh,
I mean, it was one of those nights, but I'm everybody who knows me knows I can't get dirty. There's probably a picture of me. Even when I eat Cheetos, I'll wear rubber gloves. I can't stand all that shit under my fingernails or I don't know. That's just, everybody's got the idiosyncrasies.
Forever.
Troy, I am already I've told you and Flavio about this cool cave croc project I'm starting, and I'm actually going to do prelim surveys this Wednesday. I'm gonna check out 6 caves. I am dreading going in, and next thing I hear is crying, and it's you because you're getting muddy and there's spiders.
I'll get muddy. I'll do it for you.
I'll join you with the spider thing, bro. I don't want to do the spider thing.
I'm not
like Jimmy. There's one in your beard.
They're as big as my head.
It's
like there's some like the wolf
horrible
spiders. It's like, yeah.
Hey,
it's
I'm man enough to
cool.
admit them things are nasty, dude.
At that size, though, you can see them coming. Like, I hate the ones that are so small, and then you walk through it, you don't realize.
I don't care about those. I don't care about those.
Those are worse to me. I'd rather
those
see
big
like
things that get to dancing around all over your body and stuff. I don't like that kind of shit, dude. Or they get upset, they start shaking their fucking goddamn webs like they're calling King Kong and shit. I don't want none of that stuff coming around, man. Next thing you know, they're all over the place. The small ones are easy, Jimmy, because they'll like get on your beard and curl up and you flick them off. But these ones that'll go over your whole face, it's like from the Alien movie and shit.
I don't like.
Nobody wants that.
Yeah, no,
there's nobody. You have to be into arachnids to like that kind of stuff. There's just no way.
I was just thinking, what if
Jeff,
we go into this cave, right? And because again, we know that the Maya used this cave like for ceremonial purposes and stuff. Okay. And like I'm just thinking, like, what if there's like a booby trap, and all of a sudden it's just tons of spiders coming out? It's like, remember, like, do you remember the Mummy? The movie The Mummy?
Yeah.
There's like all those little beetles because they press something, and then they just all eat Troy.
And Jimmy, we would just become the Crystal Maidens Part 2.
You called him the Frenchman, right? You need to just bring him back for that part of the cave.
Human meat shield. You just toss him in.
That's right,
bro. Listen, man, those things are crazy, dude. I don't know, man. I don't mind crocodiles and stuff. And Jimmy, I'll get in the water anytime with you. I have no problem. I didn't even get muddy. I just don't like those things crawling on me, man. And they were big. And every time you picked up a rock there was like some sort of like pygmy rabbit under there getting eaten by a tarantula. I mean, there's some weird shit out there, man. I mean, one of the greatest things I saw, because I'm getting ready to bring those other 2 wise guys on here in a minute, but the crazy thing I saw is Flavio. He has like really frothy piss, and he was urinating in the grass, bro, and that chicken was pecking his bubbles. Did you ever see me post that video? I remember Fred loved that video because the chicken was eating all the bubbles of his piss, bro. It was fucking insane. He was doing it there at that hotel.
I do remember you guys talking about that.
Yeah. The rooster was like, "Oh, these bubbles are amazing," because all that beer he was drinking. It was like beer piss. That strange beer they served there.
Dehydrated.
What is that beer that's there that everybody had to have? It was like
Pelican.
What's it called?
Belican.
That's right.
Yes. Yeah. It's
Belican.
Belican. Yeah.
All right. So let's see here. 7:15. Let me see if I can pop him in here. What's going on, Mr. Martin?
Oh my
What's
God.
up?
Look at this guy, bro.
It's live.
What's going on,
So,
I saw your caption, so I come up.
What'd you bring on? What is that? What do you got there?
Eastern Diamondback.
Oh, you're free handling it for us. All right. See, this guy uses no snake hooks, so don't try that at home. That's his Eastern Diamondback. He's going to hold it. I think he's doing that for Joe. Joe likes to see him safely hold these animals with his snake hook hands. So look at that Eastern Diamondback. That's pretty wild shit.
pretty snake. Yeah, pretty snake.
Don't they have some cool
It's
rattlesnakes
actually a
out there by you,
wild
Marissa?
What?
They have some pretty
It's
cool
actually a wild
rattlesnakes out by you, right?
We have the Fer-de-Lance. Did you guys see
Yes.
Fer-de-Lance? Fer-de-Lance.
No, we never
we have-
got to see a Fer-de-Lance when we were there. We tried so hard, but never
We saw
got
spiders.
We
All
saw
right, we'll
spider,
see you
which
there.
is funny because like where we were at, that's where we usually see the Fer-de-Lance and coxcomb. Oh, but you guys had those like 2-3 drunken girls with you guys when you went to Coxcomb.
No,
The
that
Jaguar
wasn't with
Preserve?
us.
No, they were not with us,
They were-
guys.
they were-
Okay, hold on one second.
Yeah.
What's up, Jeff? Jeff
What's up,
Goldblatt.
dude?
Wow, crazy! Everybody's here today. I love this.
I know, it's a big show.
Now, so for those of you, this guy is Jeff. He's the one we weren't allowed into the Bush Wildlife Center because we were too fucking grody to go in the front door. I mean, they probably would call the police if Ricky was there, but they just told us to leave.
If Ricky was there, we'd be in cuffs.
What was exactly that motherfucker scares everybody. They would just give us free shit when we sent Ricky in, so it was cool. We use them for a lot of things.
Yeah, the further south we get, the more they think.
We're like, we're going to be ahead of the robbery. Just go ahead and take it. Don't even ask. Yeah, we can have it. But yeah, so it's good. So yes, Jimmy, those people were not with us. Marissa, going back to that statement,
Yeah.
those girls were like ridiculous and screaming all the time.
Well, yeah, they're not. They weren't part of the
main.
main group. They weren't part of the main group, but they went with you guys on the tour.
They
like they were
tagged
part
along.
of the.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Corey.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they were
they were-
another
I don't know
group
who they
that
were.
joined the big group overall, and they just wouldn't shut up, and they were loud and obnoxious. And I think Sarah finally told them to shut up, and
He
all
did.
kind
She
of
flipped
shit.
out. He did flipped out. Even
Yeah.
the Pikachu got quiet.
Man, I just like as
Bro.
everyone that we send to do that tour, like the last couple times, someone, which is even more rare than a jaguar, they saw an ocelot. Then I just had an intern that saw 2 jaguar, and they
Wow.
also saw fer-de-lance. Like I've seen fer-de-lance going on that road. Like you usually see stuff, but again, yeah, if you're with people that are like, you know, like they're
They scare
afraid to go in the
everything.
jungle, then yeah, they're gonna scare everything away. That's a bummer.
Well, I
like
think
going there. It's pretty
I
fun.
think we're planning another trip. I think Flavio talked to you. I'm going to plan a trip to you. I think it was supposed to be soon in February, but I think we're pushing it to May or something like that, where we're going to try to put a group together to come see you. So
It'll be nice and
Yeah.
hot there, Jeff. By then,
What's
It would
that?
be-
I said it'll be nice and hot by then.
Yeah, oh yeah. You know,
That's
that's,
right.
that's how I love it. You know.
a lot of spiders.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Love.
Yeah, it will be hot. Mm-hmm.
There'll be a lot of spiders. I'm sure there will.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's grody down there too. I've been down a few times, and Jeff and we've come across some weird places. I remember we came on as one levee in this place. I thought we were.
Oh,
was
but
like-
we're
like
almost
ghost-
got deliverance.
Yes, it was really bad. The hills have eyes out there. And I was like, wow. You know, when people just stand in their doorways and they don't have electricity or half of their clothes on, and they're staring at you when you drive by. I'm like, I think we need to leave.
Yeah,
Thank
that was
God
my
Jeff
next-
had
we had
guns.
to unlock and lock the levee too. So we had to get out of the car.
It was
Guns
bad.
drawn. I was ready, man. I'm telling you,
It
it
was
was
bad
scary.
down there. It's bad sometimes in South Florida down there. Them people that live off them levees and shit down there, man. You know, they ought to know that people have permission, and you definitely don't want to come out on one of the tribe lands, dude.
No,
Oh,
you'll
God.
never be heard from again.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting,
That's right.
Jimmy. If you remember when we got to Belize, there was a Seminole tribe, either truck or trailer down there. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, right. Actually, not far from you, Maritsa. Right by the airport. When you make that big bend coming back into going to you, you make a big turn. And there's like a huge storage lot, and they had a Seminole Tribe of Florida trailer sitting out there.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was weird.
interesting.
I was like, we're really in the
Yeah.
Matrix, dude. This is weirdly strange.
That is really weird.
And then
Yeah.
God tried to play golf with the fucking airplane on the way back. That was just horrific. I mean, it was dead silent, and it felt like a train hit us. Am I lying, dude?
Is that when we were
When's this?
flying back?
Yes.
Oh my God, bro.
Wait,
Yeah,
on the
Yeah.
little Indiana Jones plane or the
No.
international?
No, the
International.
main flight.
Oh,
So
okay.
everybody's calm, and they're like asking everybody, "Hey, would you like some Sprite or would you like some pretzels and shit?" And it's calm, and it just feels relaxed. And all of a sudden, it was like a train hit the airplane. It hit so hard, and then the plane drops like 30 or 40 feet straight down, so your stomach's up in your neck. And then it was
No.
horrifying.
Yeah, I don't do
It
those
was-
planes.
I hate that
It
shit,
was
dude.
shitty.
I'll deal
Very
with jungle bugs and fair to lance all day long before you get on a little Indiana Jones, like especially a
No,
prop
that's what,
plane.
this was the international, bro. This was the
this
international.
was a big plane.
Big, it was a
757?
regular big plane.
Oh, this
Yeah,
was like
it
a big
one.
plane, you said?
Yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yep. Marissa gets on them
No.
puddle jumpers.
Oh yeah, they're so much fun because it's like Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Is there a snake in the cockpit?
Yeah,
love
throw a
that.
snake. Why not? Throw a couple of other animals in the
What's-
cockpit.
What's going on, Ricky? You're kind of quiet down there, man.
I think my mic wasn't working for the first 10 minutes I was on here.
Yeah, but the snake was working. I wore your shirt, Guns N' Roses, for you, Ricky. I know that's your favorite.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Are you going to go to the concert?
Yeah, you going?
Oh, fuck yeah. When is it?
I don't remember.
I don't really, man, this guy, I swear to God, he smokes more than anybody. He's just like, stands there. I love it.
It was
He's not
yesterday.
frozen, folks. He's just standing there.
I didn't smoke today because I was gonna try not to be so awkward, but I can't help it.
No, it's okay, man. It's good. I usually do it too, and then I forget what I'm saying, but it makes it fun. I really think we ought to Motley Croc Stoned Hour and just call everybody baked and then call
Oh
them
man, that'd be
ask
fun.
questions.
I'm already.
You're like,
I
what?
took some edibles today because I couldn't sleep last night, so
You feel
figured
good?
I'd sleep during the day, but instead I just got a little high. So what are you gonna do?
I won't use his name, but we were at a reptile event one time, and I was picking up some big tortoises from this dude. And we all know him. He's really cool. And he's like sitting there writing down this paperwork, and he's looking at me, and all of a sudden he stops and he freezes and he stares at for a minute. He just stares. I'm like, "Are you okay?" He goes, "Give me a second. My edible just kicked in." And he's like, "Ooh, really rushy." I'm like, "Dang, how many did you eat?" So I know what that's like when it just hits you all of a sudden, and you're in mid conversation, and then you're like in a spaceship somewhere, and you're trying to bring yourself back. I love that feeling though. Sometimes.
I don't fuck with edibles. I'm scared I'm gonna freak out.
Bro, what do you mean?
I just feel like I'm gonna I won't be able to handle it, and then I can't turn it off. At least if I smoke and I get like too high, I can drink it away. But not with
He
edibles.
said I could drink. I grabbed some CBD, man. It works like a charm.
Jump
Let
out
me
a
tell
first
you.
floor window.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
we
like
see
that
that.
shit, man. I don't know. I don't like it, dude. You know that. I
It
can't do
depends on what. It depends, man. Like even Jeff knows. It just depends on what you get. Like I can't do sativa because it makes me angry. So you just got to do it small, Ricky. Just don't eat the whole edible. Just take it in little segments and wait 30 minutes until you find your proper. Because if you eat that whole thing,
Yep. Start
we had a
slow.
friend eat 600
wait.
milligrams at one time and got stuck in his bed and doing the plank for 8 hours. He couldn't talk or move.
Oh,
Yeah, give yourself an
paralyzed.
hour or two in between too. That's a big one. You don't want to overdo it because as soon as you take that second one, the first one kicks right in.
And then the second one shortly after, and then you're
You know
riding
you're
a
in
freight
big, big
train, and you're
trouble.
like, "Holy fuck!" I did that one time. I've told the story before, but I was smoking one time after work. Flavia and I were hanging out, and I packed that bowl too hard, man. And I was talking to Flavia for a second, and all of a sudden I got like this rush, and then Flavia's face was getting distorted, and he's like, "Are you all right, man?" Like real slow, and his arm was long. I'm like, "No, I'm not all right. I got to get to my car," because I was just thinking I got to get to my CBD so I can drink some, level it out. You know what I mean? I was trying to get there. My feet were like really long. And then I saw myself yelling at myself in the parking lot. I was so fucked. And I was like that for 40 minutes, bro, until I was able to come down. It was unbelievable. That's too much. It's not even fun in a controlled environment. It's not
Can't
even
do it.
fun in a controlled environment.
No.
You know,
no.
Ricky
I
would be
had
down there kissing his
one-
snakes and stuff. It wouldn't be good.
I had a
Well,
bad
I
don't-
experience with
I-
Belize. I can't do it no more. Mm-mm.
Well, what happened? What happened?
Well, because like it's not, like this is like over a decade ago, and it's
a
not
while.
like I feel like in the U.S. where it's like that people are kind of like, okay, I know how much I'm putting in, kind of thing. So there's this guy like I always go to like get food, and he does like bit muffins, cookies, and all that. And I just go in. He goes, "Oh, Marissa, I baked some special muffins. You want one?" And I'm thinking it's like, oh, it's like a new recipe. Yeah. I'll totally take one.
The key word is special.
I just went over my head. And I was like, I hadn't eaten lunch. And so I'm driving back to the jungle cabin I'm staying in. And I just like, to eat half a muffin because at that point I was like kind of watching my weight. And, and I was like, all right. And then, gosh, I'm feeling a little more hungry. And so I ate the whole muffin. And in like 30 minutes, I saw pink elephants. Howler monkeys were coming into my cabin. I thought I was hearing jaguars circling it was one of those things I was just like I could not. I was out for like 24 hours, 28 hours. And then I went back to the guy like a day or two afterwards. I was like, yo, why didn't you tell me there was like shit in here? Like and he's like, I told you they were special. And I was like, I thought it was just like you've been baking like new, like using new recipes. I thought it was like that type of special
recipe.
No.
Yeah, that's why I don't fuck with edibles, because I think that shit's gonna happen.
Hold on, my dog.
Yeah, I'm for that too, Kim.
Oh man.
High Crocs.
Yeah, that's bad. That's really bad. You'll never touch that again. That's for sure.
It lasts a long time too. The edibles last a long time.
Jaguar prints.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right.
That would have been awesome.
Right?
Unfortunately,
If there's an actual howler monkey.
But see, I actually, now that you say that though, there was a jaguar around my cabin. This is when I knew Belize was calling me, or at least Central America. The first time I ever went to Belize, within the second or third day, I saw a black jaguar. That is super rare. It's super special. Wow. And so I woke up like at 5:30 to go look for fertilants. And so I'm leaving my cabin, and I had seen the howler monkeys in the area or they would come near my cabin too, because they were trying to like piss and throw shit at me. But they were mean. Howler monkeys, primates they're mean. So I'm walking down a trail looking for fertilants, and all of a sudden I'm like about 20, 30 feet in front of me, I see something black, and I see shoulders, and I'm like, howler monkeys do come down. And all of a sudden I saw the face, and I was like, oh, and I had my camera, but it was one of those things like I'm just so shocked and surprised I couldn't move. And then also in my head, jaguars, there's no known incident of a wild jaguar attacking someone, but I was like, knowing my luck, I would be the first one if I try to like pick up this camera to take a picture. And so I just stood there and just like sniffed. Like if it wanted to attack me, it would have attacked me. And it just kept walking. And I saw it again 3 months later. Like how effing awesome is that? It was fucking amazing.
Wow, you don't see those too often, huh? That's like a pretty rare thing to see.
Yeah, it's super rare. And that's when I was like, all right, there's something special about Belize. And now here I am.
That's pretty awesome though. That's pretty cool. I remember didn't we go see the howler monkeys there?
That's awesome.
We did. Yep.
And we walked for like 8 miles for 14 and a half hours on this person's property. And then finally they came down. It was like, I think they did that on purpose to try to make the tour longer so they could charge a lot of money, honestly.
Did you guys go to Monkey River?
I don't remember. You have to ask Jimmy. He takes all that stuff in.
All I know is that what the hell was it? I don't even remember. I just know we walked a lot. We walked through like this fence area. It looked like we went onto private property. And we walked like a big loop around like this old shack, and then that's where like they came down out of the trees, and it was definitely touristy though. There was a lot of different people around.
There was a place you entered. There. Remember, we had to sign in. Yeah,
well, maybe it was like baboon. It was probably the baboon sanctuary then. Maybe it was by the zoo.
I don't know. When we went in there, no, it was before the zoo.
Not a zoo.
It was before we even. It wasn't even on that side. It was before we came over to that side. I don't know. It was like a private place. One the howler monkey something of Belize or whatever. They just had like big howler monkey skulls and everything in this room, and we went in there inside. I mean, there was a whole bunch of stuff on them. But it was just weird. It was shady. Like I just felt like I was walking around the Everglades for a little bit, and then all of a sudden, a couple monkeys climbed out of a tree. It was like that, bro. It was really like that. That's how it was. It was like that.
Have you ever seen have you ever gone up and seen the rhesus macaques up at Ocala National Forest?
Yes. I was about to ask that.
They're fucking nuts, dude.
Apparently, they are riddled with herpes or something like that.
Yep.
This is what I hear.
They carry all that terrible stuff.
At Ocala National Park.
And they also carry hepatitis.
Yeah. So don't sleep with the monkeys. That's for sure.
So Ocala National Forest is literally like about 10 minutes from my house. So,
Oh man.
Yeah,
Well, whenever you want to go, Jimmy, I'll drive up.
So just
You guys
release
gotta trap one of
pets,
those
obviously,
monkeys.
right?
Yeah, I think it was.
Springs is right there. It's pretty cool, man. We go kayak and see the monkeys. I didn't know that they actually swam to different locations. I thought these were monkeys that hated water. And no shit, man. They were on the side of the bank swimming around, and I'm like, oh my god, they're gonna jump in the boat.
Yeah, for some reason, I thought that monkeys that couldn't swim.
But the history of them being there was because of Tarzan, right? When they were down here filming the original Tarzan, and they accidentally got released, and then they remained there.
They didn't accidentally get released. They just let them go when it was over.
Oh, that's right.
They have signs out there. So I was talking to a couple people that lived in the area before. So the employees of the park actually brought the monkeys in to release it into the wild. So they had like an advertised point to come see wild monkeys here, and they didn't expect them to breed like they did, and now they're found all the way through. I think the St. Johns River, all this stuff. Like you can find them all over the place. They even say they migrate to Jacksonville. I'm like, how the hell do these monkeys get to Jacksonville?
Alligator
Jacksonville.
Over there by you, Jimmy, if you go to the Salt Springs, there's signs too. Like even at Silver Springs, like if you're just walking around on the property of Silver Springs, they'll stop you. There's these little signs saying, please don't feed the monkeys. And like I remember I was working there at an event and I was walking by, and they are mean. If they think you have food, they will come right at you like little demons, like little gremlins out of the bush.
And then you just have to beat them to death right there. You just have to punch them.
Yes.
And they're worried about my iguana.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because we all know this, Jeff. Making iguanas illegal is going to stop the problem with them down.
Of course, because there's no iguanas, in South Florida at all.
Yeah,
so you can't skateboard down a sidewalk in Davie without 57 iguanas jumping out of the way.
And don't forget agamas.
Ringtail,
the basilisk
lizards or whatever. Basilisks.
There was freaking the nightingales, Cuban nightingales. Oh, those things are nasty. So mean.
Yeah, those things are worse than green iguanas if you go down there. I bet you I find more Cuban nightingales at night than I do green iguanas.
Every kind of chameleon you can think of. I mean, it's getting crazy.
We
got similes too.
These animals.
So we have similes.
Hey, let's quit naming animals.
Because they're going to start banning stuff.
Start banning it all.
Yeah.
They already are working on that, but that's not going to solve the problem. I think there was just something else bigger going on, and that was just to.
It's a pretty Band-Aid. That's what they did with the the yellows. There's no out of everything to pick, they picked yellow anacondas, and I mean.
Yeah, I'll say his name. That was Kit Frawling. He made up a bunch of stuff about that fucking guy.
They're not the biggest. They're not they're not the most prolific. They're,
and I got to tell you, and I'm going to say it again, and Jeff understands what I mean. And for a while, we had the same officers, and some of these officers, man, they don't like any of this shit that's going on. They have no idea. Half the time you call them and no one's communicating. I mean, it's really not always the FWC. It's whatever the legislation says.
Yeah.
And, the commissioners get involved and they say things. And I think that before you make those types of statements, and I'm sure you deal with stuff like that too, Maritsa, over in Belize. I mean, there's people that make decisions on things that are unaware. And I would like to use the term ignorant to a subject. And I think that when they do that, it's I mean, we have bigger problems in Florida than green iguanas.
The one thing I have to say though is because Belize is so small, like there's so much more bureaucracy that you guys have to go through where it's small, and then plus I've been working with them. Like I can talk to them to try to change certain things, but like there is still, in certain aspects of either biology or just some conservation and management, there is a little bit of education that still needs to be provided for the officers. So I see where you're coming from, but like it's just what you guys have to deal with is a lot worse than what I'm dealing with here for sure.
We have to deal with stuff that's made up in storytelling.
We have a good inspector, but he's just he can do what he can do.
And the other thing is here in Belize, it is illegal to own any wildlife. And so that's another thing that we don't necessarily go through the problems that you guys are in. So like technically the CRC, the Crocodile Research Coalition, are two crocodiles that we have. That's not CRC. that is owned by the government. We're more of just the caretakers of these animals that cannot be re-released. The government can come in anytime and just be like, we're taking our animals, and I can't say anything.
Now, are you allowed to own like generic animals, like your normal common day, like ball pythons, like things like that, or not even anything like that?
No exotics at all. No exotics at all.
Are you allowed to own
cats and dogs, pretty much?
I'm sorry. Say that again,
cats
Jimmy.
and dogs.
Are you allowed to own anything native?
Nope, not at all. Nothing.
Wow.
Everything. And honestly, a lot of Central American countries are like this, is where it is illegal to own any native wildlife, and Belize is very strict about the exotic wildlife. It's very much wildlife should be out in the wild. Like, there's no reason to own it, because especially part of it also goes. So there's two reasons. One is when Belize was a colony, and you had a lot of Brits, Europeans, and sometimes Americans as well coming in and taking our wildlife. When Belize became independent and wrote in the laws, it was pretty much like, hey, fuck you, colonizers. You're not taking anything else of ours. You know what I mean? And we're just making a strict law that no wildlife can be owned at all. Like, and this was just a kind of like a fuck you for taking our natural resources. Then two, just economic wise, most people don't have the economic means to take care of the wildlife. And so instead of possibly dealing with a bunch of animal welfare issues and just a lot of like relinquishing to sanctuaries and stuff, they're just like, it is absolutely illegal to own anything. Now, there are exceptions here and there. Even with some people that are moving here from the States, like let's say I know someone that has a tortoise and a couple birds that they want to bring with them. And these are animals that they've had for 30, 50 years. The government, they'll budge a little bit for these particular people, because they can also see that these animals are very well taken, and, they have to have certain type of enclosure so that the animals don't get out in the wild.
Exactly. The money. Yeah. They're bringing wealth to that area.
Well,
so
Belize
has
to protect their wildlife so they can poach it and sell the remnants to tourists. They got to, make sure it's preserved.
Hey, you
don't want them all. I mean, you can go down there. Yeah, I do, Jimmy.
Let me in the zoo because I had my alligator tooth on, and they barely let me in the zoo because they thought it was a jaguar tooth. And I shit you not, when I went to Costa Rica, I did not bring my tooth. I left that thing home. But they wouldn't let me in. I had to hide it, and he said, "Do not pull that out of your shirt for any reason." And I was like, "Okay." No problem.
Because it's illegal to have any wildlife product on you as well. So like no one can have a jaguar tooth, crocodile tooth, anything like that. Now there are some exceptions for the indigenous cultures, obvious reasons.
Yes.
But and then there's just still, you still see the odd tooth and antler and stuff being sold, and part of it is just there's a lack of education. Especially if you have these indigenous cultures that this is okay, especially since it was sustainable. And let's say they start moving into like more modern villages, towns, and they bring that culture with them and they don't know any better. So they're going to continue that. And that might start spreading throughout that particular community as well. So but Forest Department is starting to increase their education overall about everything.
So before we move on to like the Belize Zoo that we went to when we were there, all those animals that are in the Belize Zoo, are they owned by the government that's at that zoo technically?
Technically, it's owned by government. It's owned by government. But again, the government
they had a variety of animals. They had a lot
absolutely.
Of different things.
Sharon Matola, the founder, who passed away last year, she at first it was somewhat of a sanctuary. And it, to this day, it really is. All the animals that are at the zoo, it's not like someone goes out and takes a native animal. These are all animals that were hit by a car, shot by a gun. And then because of some ailment or physical issue that if they were released back in the wild, that they would not survive, they got a second chance being a wildlife ambassador at the Belize Zoo.
It's pretty fun.
Wow.
Yeah. So like our two captive crocodiles, we have Eamon, who's blind, and that's because someone got a machete and chopped at his head. And I
told you about not doing that.
Take
your anger
That's
issues
messed up.
somewhere else. Take your
Yeah, but
anger
I mean,
issues.
but do we know? But did he have a
That's
hold of
messed up.
somebody when they did that?
Did they? No.
No, they just chopped him.
They just chopped him because
I mean, if I'm grabbed by something, I have a machete and it's got me.
Of
I'm going to
course.
chop its eyes out completely.
Of course.
In a very crazy way.
Yes, absolutely, of course. And so this, no one was bit or anything. He was just resting. Someone saw him, got a machete, chopped at his head. He is now
Shoot my
look at that
cat's
kitty
asshole
cat.
every day.
Aw. And then our other one is Gilly, who was in captivity for about 40 years, and he is very much a captive croc. Like,
Yeah, he's been here a long
Gilly.
time. I saw you post a video with
Yeah.
Steve Irwin with him or something.
Yeah. So he was around. Actually, he's probably between 50 and 60 years old. He's the one that I've been posting a lot of videos with lately. He's tomorrow. I'm gonna actually try to start desensitizing his tail, so eventually we can take blood
That's funny,
samples
Jeff.
from him.
He's dying to
That's
shit.
Oh, you're gonna
More
pull blood
left,
from him.
right?
Yeah, he's a pure Morlets. Yeah. So tomorrow, it's just I'm gonna have one team member feeding him, training him, and I'm just gonna start tapping that tail so he starts getting used to it. I've talked to Flavio about this, and I've talked with my friend Erie Gill over in England, who's done this with a big Tomistoma. So I kind of have an idea, and I know Gilly's behavior and stuff. So I'm just gonna start, but just knowing that Gilly is pretty old, it'd be nice to like once, twice a year get some blood work for him just to make sure everything's still okay. But I mean, he's a healthy croc, but I just want to go ahead and get him used to, being poked here and there. So again, we can just monitor his health.
Gilly is amazing.
He's
I
so
love Gilly.
he's so great.
Gilly
He's a
has
cool
a
dude.
video that you posted, Marissa, that I kid you not is almost up to 300,000 hits of just a Gilly video. And it's literally him having a cameo because he saw the phone and was like, "Hello, phone. My
Yeah.
name's Gilly. I'm a sexy beast."
Yes.
I couldn't believe it. It like popped up and I was like, "That's Gilly. That's Marissa." And I was like, "Do you know that your video? Gilly's famous." Like,
Well, there's a theory on that, man. I'm telling you, I don't know, and I know people laugh when I say this, but Marissa, you can look into this if you want. I always thought that I think that crocodiles, especially, they can sense radio signals, because if you even get a drone near a crocodile, they flip out and try to go after it. It isn't like, they're used to birds flying over all day and things, but you get a drone near them or a phone or something that's transmitting something radio, it almost seems as if it screws with them a little bit, and they just get really drawn to it. Have you ever seen that? It's a true thing I'm serious. It's weird. It's really weird.
Last week we flew the drone over Gilly and he didn't move. He was just like, whatever. Like he's such a chill croc.
Yeah, but you put him over anybody else. Like somebody was trying to fly one over to Zia
wild-
Dominic one time, and he got real upset about it. And if you look at all those drone footages, every time they go near it, it tries to jump up and destroy it and leave. It's like
we haven't had that issue with the crocs here. Now maybe we haven't.
what kind of sharks can pick that stuff up?
Sharks, sharks are really good. About
Yeah.
that. Yep. Yeah. It's in
Actually, you know what? That you said that when Flavio was here at my place, Lee was already here at the time, and he had his drone.
Lee is a Siamese crocodile, by the way.
Yeah, so Lee's the Siamese, and Flavio flew the drone right over the croc, and Lee went up at it and tried to bite it. Lee tried to jump
really
up
weird.
at the drone, and I don't think Lee's ever seen a drone before, and he tried to go after it. So
I just wonder if
it's
it's something messes with their frequency. Like I wonder if they can, obviously they're pretty much fully aquatic animals, and so are sharks. And I just wonder if there is something that they're able to pick up. They're very smart. I have to argue. I think crocodiles are smarter than most humans. Honest to God, they really are. They're not a creature of habit. They're a creature of skill and understanding, and they have DNA memories that travel. And I can tell you that I know that for a fact by understanding the parents that I've seen for years and not owning their offspring. The way they act and not being taught is just who they are per their parents. So I just wonder if they have something like that, and that's a neat thing to touch on. That's on that supernatural stuff.
Well, the thing is too with sharks though, like if it's possible that they carry the same type of frequency that sharks can sense on, because sharks are driven by the magnetic pulse. It's completely different than whales, right? So they're driven by that. And there's current science going with the great whites that are going off the coast of California, because every part, like it's during the spring, there's a certain time that all these great whites are drawn to a specific spot between basically Catalina Island and Hawaii. And it's right dead center of the Pacific Ocean. And they can't figure out what's drawing them there, except that there's some type high frequency of magnetic pulsing. And they've called it now the Great White Cafe, because there's literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of great whites. And they go there, they circle, they mingle in this one area for a little period of time, and then they go back to where they need to go. But every year it's consistent, and they're trying to figure out why. But we know that like all these different types of magnetic, they really work.
That would be a Dr. Marissa thing, because she does all that stuff with crocs. I'm just saying that Perostas do that too. Perostas do that. They move at the same time every year, and they all go from miles away to one spot, and they seem to know it. They understand. Believe it or not, people talk. That one book I have, they talk about them. They believe they understand astrology and the positioning of the stars, and I wouldn't doubt that. I mean, I wouldn't doubt that. If someone said that to me, I'm not gonna be like, "Oh, you're crazy." I mean, they understand barometric pressure. Dominic right now, Marissa, our big American crossover too. He's Mr. Horny now, so. Anytime you go in to play with him, he shows off now. Now it's like, hey, I'm going to run over real fast, and I'm going to clap my jaws like a machine gun and show you how cool I am. Or one of the little gators will grunt, and he'll take his chin and slap the water like, shut the fuck up, and everybody gets quiet. Even the birds stop squawking. So they begin to understand that barometric pressure and, the changes, and it's weird. There's just so much shit about them we don't even know yet.
Absolutely. We don't even know. And I thought someone was studying, or maybe someone suggested in the sense, though, that crocodiles, I mean, just similar to birds, like who understand their migration route, that they're able to connect with some physiological level with the magnet lines in the earth.
Lines in the magnetic lines. Yep.
Well, there was a study, and I don't remember that one. And Flavio will remember if you ask him. There was that study where these crocodiles were near some place where there was either like a concert hall or something like that, and the vibrations were just destroying these animals. And Flavio was talking about that, the way they, even though it was far enough away. Okay, so it was that constant, and it was just driving them mad, and they couldn't
because of the ISOs. So the integumentary sensory organs, the ISOs, they're 10 times more sensitive than the human touch, and so they're constantly just going off. They're just constantly going off, and so like over a period of time, that's just overstimulation. Like it's just gonna get to them, and it caused at least one crocodile to die. I do remember that. I think it was a Cuban crocodile.
Yeah, it was really bad. I just remember talking about that. So there's so many things that they pick up on.
So I wonder too if like they can hear a certain frequency that we can't, like dogs.
Yes, they can.
So absolutely. They can. So there you go. So maybe there's a frequency that these electronic devices that we're not aware of, that they're actually pulsing off, and that frequency is at a level that they can hear, and that could be irritating to some and not versus all. But there could be certain crops that are higher sense, like have higher senses.
And they also see in color, and people don't think they do, but they do. They see in color, and they actually possess more blue cone receptors than we do. So, the skies and the water, they can differentiate between the blues, being obviously looking up at the sky all the time or peripheral viewing. I mean, there's some neat, biology to that. And that's pretty interesting because everybody says animals see in black and white. I highly disagree with that. Yeah. Always. So.
Wrong.
And now they proved it wrong. I mean,
thank you. Yeah, it has been. Yep.
So like the Nile crocodiles, like how when they migrate for like the wildebeest and the zebra migration, what would draw them to that migration? I mean, is it at the time that they've learned? I mean, what draws them? Because they all, from all the documents you see, they migrate to where the zebras and wildebeest cross that part of the river. And
Ricky.
Now crops cover constantly.
Backwards, bro.
That's okay. I mean, you're getting old. I saw you that still shot of you with that fucking skateboard shoved up your ass the other day. Did you do that recently?
It hit me in the knee. It looked like it was bad, but it wasn't.
You were like standing on your tippy toes and it was crammed up your ass. I was like, oh my God, dude.
Ollie over that cone.
Well, I just did something to my wrist the other day. Oh my God, I hate that. Listen, guys, I'm telling you, and it happens more to guys that are a little shorter than tall dudes because our A-frame, if you will, is a little bit longer than the board. But some of those guys that are a little bit smaller, bro, when they fucking come down, that board's up. it impales them, dude. They're just stuck there like a popsicle, Jeff. It's fucking.
Yeah.
I see it at the skate park a lot. There's a bunch of
I
videos
want
where the little
fucking
kids have literally ripped their balls off doing that, like literally tore their nuts out of their bag doing that. Dude.
Where would you find videos like that, Troy?
What's that?
I said, where would you come across videos like that? I don't even
Oh,
know.
Flavio.
Of course.
Flavio, yeah.
Yeah, I blocked Flavio on Messenger.
You have to.
I've definitely
will send you. It's pretty rough.
Yeah.
What was that, Ricky?
I've definitely split my shit. Like when I was younger, fucking getting credit carded. My board chipped, and it fucking cut me up.
Oh, I've seen it, dude. And you'll see him like, do you remember there was an old MTV? You probably remember it, Marissa. It was called Scarred. Yeah. And they would show all these accidents on BMX and skateboards and shit, like kids just ripping their arms in half and blowing their femurs through their butt cheeks from trying to jump off buildings with skateboards, and like they'd land and their femurs would shoot through their ass cheeks because they dislocate them from their
They still have that. It's called YouTube.
It's YouTube,
Yeah, that's why I don't do that. Nope.
I've never had anything like break through the skin, but I've broken like both my ankles, both my wrists, my arms.
I'm stopped. I didn't break my wrist yesterday, dude. I was ripping through, and I come up over this bridge, and I don't know what I was thinking. I went to get something from my pocket, and I had my remote in my hand, and I hit the button, and it shot the motherfucker backwards, and then I caught myself, right, and then I restabilized, and then it shot the board out from underneath me. So I went straight up in the air, dude, and the board goes all the way across traffic, and I landed on my hand and my shoulder, my back, my ass, and the only thing, bro, my hand looked like a water balloon last night, dude. I hit it so hard. I'm like, okay, I'm jarred. I still feel it through my ribs. It jarred my whole body. You know what I mean when you hit the ground.
Did you like slip back and like do that?
It stopped me. I recovered. It went to shoot backwards. I leaned forward for the brake to catch myself. And then I was throwing myself back to recover. And then I just hit that lever, and it just shot it out and threw me up like ice, dude. Like you're jumping on a treadmill is what it was like.
Yeah.
Oh, bam!
I always do that shit where you like shoot back and get whiplash and then fuck both your wrists up at once.
Yes, yeah. It was one wrist. All my weight went down on one. But I always got in this habit of not using my elbows because you know what that's like. When you hit the concrete with your elbows, it's like the worst feeling ever. And it always jars up into or you can dislocate you know how bad it is. So,
yeah.
Flavio tucks. He likes to tuck and do the fetal position when he loses it. But he's ripped his toenails off doing that.
Oh.
So, you know, I mean... I'd rather lose a limb. You grow up, but I don't know. I like skating.
Are you going
to wonder why
are you going to bring those boards to Belize?
If they let me.
I hope so.
You probably
really weird about flying lithium-ion batteries, though. They're real weird about it.
Oh, yeah.
You can probably rent them, though.
You tried to get me to do it when we left the convention that day. You and Flavia both did.
Yeah, but what we were doing and what we had you to do was two different things. Marissa did it. She got right on and spent the whole day doing it.
270-pound fucking guy that does not belong on a skateboard. All right,
it's only gonna hurt for a little bit.
Listen,
I've been hurt bad, but nope, I'm good.
Listen. The stuff that we would do, like if Jimmy would do, would just be riding. He wouldn't even fall. He would catch himself. The stuff we were doing was trying to rip over the bridges and shit and going super fast and cutting through people. And because you know people are stupid and they like to go on these trail walks, you know, where there's bicycles and everybody, and they forget. So they got their fucking kids in strollers and they take the whole path up. And they decide to do that at the last minute when you're coming through. And you even say coming up behind you, and they all just spread across the path like they just forgot the direction of how it should be working.
That's like
it's always
scooters
human
at the
error,
fucking skate park. The scooters into the skate park are like that. They go right in front of you, and then you fucking run them over, and their parents get sad about it.
Well, don't bring your kids on the scooters. And then remember when they used to they used to listen, man. When we were kids, they used to call those inline skates the fruit boots.
Fruit boots.
Listen, when I used to skate all the contests and shit, I fucking ran over Tony Hawk's kid hard as shit.
Oh.
We were skating the same contest. And I tried to jump over him, and fucking my knee went right into his. He was wearing a helmet, but it fucking hit him in the head.
Out of all the kids, it had to be him, huh?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh shit.
Bro, dude, he's fucking. Ricky can skate a board. I've seen you do some shit, man. For an old guy,
I'm trying to get back into it, but if I fucking break my wrist, then I can't take care of this shit.
You know what I did? So I came home and I said, fuck it. I got those 888 wrist guards, dude. I ain't doing that again.
I've never tried them.
They're fine, dude. There was a pair that this dude had because he was doing those slides in my neighborhood, and they're easy, dude. There's nothing to them like that. They're light titanium and stuff.
Oh yeah.
So I don't mind having something like that, dude. You don't even use snake hooks, so you don't need to worry about it.
No, I've been using them a lot
Freddie.
more lately. I only did that shit earlier because you wrote the guy that doesn't use snake hooks.
That's because Joe, bro, when you post a picture and you had a snake hook, he's like, I've never seen Ricky use a snake hook in my life. He always just picks them up.
Nope, since
Well,
day
this king cobra is big, so it's harder to use a snake hook with her. Like, I don't just like reach in and pick her up or anything, but she's pretty big for this small ass Midwest hook I have.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. There looks good back there though, dude. Looks like you got it all ironed out pretty good.
Yeah. I just got a baby mamba this morning. I'm gonna use a hook with that one for sure.
What'd you do? Did you put tape on your fingers like this?
Huh?
Did you just tape up your fingers, or?
I actually taped a small hook to a big hook.
Made it longer to stay away from it?
What could possibly go wrong, Rick?
I had this when I had that fucking forest cobra. He would always shoot up my hook, so I had to like make like a 10-foot hook. But I got
Bro, he's gotten good, Jeff, because I remember the night that we went hunting pythons and we got back to the hotel and that thing fucked him up.
I have a video of that. You'll have to share that one day. That's hilarious. It beat the shit out of him.
He didn't give a fuck. That thing just chewed him up like a Big Mac, dude.
Well, if I know it's not, if it's like a python, I know I'm not gonna die. Then I'm careless.
Bro, I just wouldn't even get in the habit. I would forget. I would forget what I'm messing with. You get complacent, bro, and you just get tagged.
Everything I have now is venomous, so I have to use a hook with everything except for my kids' ball pythons. That's about it.
And you only keep those to feed to the king, right?
I would, but there's
future snake food.
Because you can go it would be funny, Marissa, because we would go down to this place in South Florida. I won't name it, but you would go to certain places, and all these ball python people are pretty serious people. Like, they're like, I have a banana T- pearl jigger job, whatever they call it.
Yeah.
And, mine's a purple puff dragon, it's a fart wheel or whatever. And then we go to this place and there'd be like this huge fucking bucket of all these snakes, $3 a piece for cobra food.
Oh, I probably shouldn't say the name, huh?
Yeah, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know.
People are throwing pastels and leucistics. They're like, oh, yeah, $3. But you go to a show, they're like, oh, that's a $700 T-
that we did had a box of, it said feeder ball pythons. But they were all like, it was stuff that he didn't want to fix. They had mites and mouth rot. I was like, why would you want to feed these to your snake anyway? But he's an old school guy from Florida.
Yeah, Joe gave me a shitload that have like prolapse and shit that he got from some Repticon that they were selling for like $8 a piece or some shit.
I'm just more worried about having snakes with prolapses. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Yo, bro,
they weren't.
But in the 90s, dude, like in 90, 91, I could buy anacondas for $25.
Yep.
Ah, damn.
Maybe Burmese were $8 at times.
Oh, there, yeah.
$8.99. You can get them, right? You got a wholesale sheet. You're paying $8 for a Burmese python.
That was all there was.
That's crazy.
It got crazy. Now it's totally different. It's illegal. If you're caught with them, you go to prison. They kill your dog. It's just.
Oh man, yeah, no. In fact, the person who's got my last Burmese is watching right now.
Yep, I still have mine, folks. I actually have a permit.
That was my first.
It wasn't worth it for me. I'm working on my BRC, so.
No, I know. I've got it all.
One day.
I got to finish with Ricky too.
I think they're pretty.
Which ones?
The green tree rose, the emerald.
No, they're very pretty.
Beautiful.
I love that.
Have you ever seen the inside one of their mouths though? They are scary snakes.
Well, Brittany, it's just in case because people are real nerdy and know it's a green tree python and an emerald tree boa. They're two different species.
She fixed it.
Not a green tree boa.
I fixed it.
Because I'm like, your sister said green tree boa, man. That's a fucking chondro, and it's a specific genealogy, and they get all weird about it.
No, I know. I fixed it.
Dude, snake people are crazy with the taxonomy and species
oh my god, it's
and all
unreal.
I'm the furry. My brother was the reptile. I handled all of the furry, fuzzy animals. My brother handled all the reptiles. Don't attack me. I'm catching up.
Yeah, snake people got a little weird.
No,
I'm not really a big snake person. I'm not. Some people are. I think they're cool, but they're not like my choice animal. They aren't, but I like them, and there's certain ones I have, and I've got some big ones that are pretty cool. I've got Ricky's tiger retic, and he's still kicking ass. He's awesome. I mean, he's a great animal.
Is that the big one, Rick?
It was like my second.
Oh, the one you got from Glenn.
I got it from Glenn. Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's a great snake. Big. It never bites anybody. And then of course, Maritsa, the state changed it to where you can't let the kids touch them anymore.
Yeah,
they can touch. Well, here's what's funny. Like you can't take a little, like say 3-foot Burmese python and put it on a table in a classroom because it's dangerous. But you can put an Eastern Diamondback on that table. But if it's not native, you can't do it.
Yeah.
And then now you used to be able to let kids touch the snakes. Like we would let them all, like you guys want to, we would line them all up to hold the anaconda and put their arms on and stuff. Can't do it anymore. But I hear they're revisiting that, so that's probably going to change soon. But because how you doing education with that stuff? How are we going to talk to the little kids about it?
Yeah, I used to bring. Go ahead, Rick.
I was just gonna say, little kids ain't gonna pay attention. Like if you're trying to tell them shit and they're looking through the glass, they want to see it, touch it, and they want to get fucking stoked.
I can't not. We did a show we did the Great American Teach-In on the 23rd. Me and my girlfriend and the kids, and it was so fun because the last 2 years we had to do it remotely, and this year we were back in the classroom, and we got one big blue-tongued skink that the kids love, the professor, and they just love that thing, man. We bring it around, let them touch it. I had a wild collected southern hog, and he just decided out of nowhere. Things never been dramatic, nothing. Played dead right in the middle for all the kids, and they went nuts. They had just a great time.
That's cool.
I miss bringing the berms. The berm that Kim has is like a puppy.
And that was my first
interaction is one of the most important things when it comes to educating the public. Interaction is what captures the curiosity of people and furthers wanting to learn about those animals. And if you can't have interaction, it's not going to work.
Nope.
Yeah,
I mean,
wait, because here in Belize, you cannot use any animals to educate.
Unless you're Maritsa.
Well, no, like, no, but like, it is, we cannot use any animal we can't take animals to schools or anything like that. So all of us organizations have had to get very creative. And that's where, having at least my 2 captive crocs, and we are planning to start some tours and stuff, but that's why I've been trying to blast as much interaction as we have with Gilly, because social media is big here. Facebook is still very big in Belize, Instagram, TikTok. And so we're always posting stuff so people can see. And I guess maybe because it is the culture here that you're not used to seeing animals come to classroom, but at the end of the day, there's still so much wildlife. So people are seeing these animals anyways in the wild all the time, per se. But all of us organizations, we've been very successful, but man, we have to get really creative to get people
it's interesting because
to educate.
You say that in like here, because we're actually into the hour, but we'll go a couple minutes over. When you go into like these rural schools or these smaller towns, man, the kids look forward to seeing it. I've done some urban schools and I've done some high schools, and these fucking kids haven't even seen a snake, a turtle, or even a bird in the wild in their life other than a pigeon. Yeah. So it's like for the first time, they're so into it. They're like, I've only seen this on TV. So,
right.
I've only seen this on TV kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's the with no interaction. I think if you take that away, you just take away the compassion for stuff.
Yeah.
And you're going to get animal rights activists all over my statements because that's all I do. You just say that because you're using them, whatever you want to say, whatever you.
But I mean,
it's so ridiculous when they say that stuff. They just don't know, and it's usually a kid that just turned 19 and feels like they're part of something on Facebook. And
dude, I like to call those people.
And send in my fan club mail.
I like to call those people couch conservationists because they've never been out in the fields. They've never actually participated or been with other organizations like us who are the boots on the ground to see what we have to deal with. Yeah. I remember being in Seattle and talking to people. This is right before I moved down to Belize, and talking to people about some of the issues we have here with the wildlife trade and some illegal hunting. They're like, well, you just need to do X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, okay, we don't have those financial resources. We don't have that type of enforcement. We don't have, well, you guys need to figure that out. And it was just like, they don't, because they're coming, they see documentaries or they read stuff on social media from, various outlets, and they think they know how to solve the problem. No, you don't.
The whole world
Like,
right now.
no, you don't. You're just sitting on your couch and you think that you have solved the world's problems to jaguars and elephants and snakes and all this. And it's just like, please shut
know the
up,
world's
because you have
problems.
no idea what
Exactly.
it's like to be the boots on the ground, like the
I agree with
sweat, the
that.
tears, and everything else.
I agree with that. And I've never once called myself a conservationist for anyone listening.
Mm-mm.
I support it. I send money to it and I try to help people. I am not out there digging fucking canals and doing the stuff that Maritsa does. I don't think that anybody should call themselves a conservationist unless they go out there and they actually do that stuff.
And conserve.
Do I support it? Yes, I will support conservation. I have crocodiles because I fucking love them. Period. End of story.
Same.
And the things I get to do with them and teach them and they teach me is what I do it for. So if I can teach kids about them and they're not just this big lizard that lives and eats people's dogs in the canals here in Florida. They're actually a very they're very substantial animal to this, to our ecosystem, and they're awesome as fuck, man. So people have no problem saddling up a horse and kicking the shit out of it so they can ride it through the woods and call themselves whatever, tour guides or cowboys. But if you have an alligator, oh, you're imprisoning it. It hatched from an egg in captivity, and it's lived in the Taj fucking Hall its whole life.
Right.
It's not imprisoned.
No predators, no nothing.
Stop paying your bills. You're in prison too. You can't be watching this right now if you weren't paying for your subscription for your Wi-Fi. So you're in prison too, motherfucker, because if you don't do it, you don't get it either. And you're in prison to them. So it's just a big circle.
The other thing too is like in today's society, the generations, they read and they believe what they read, right? So if you put out all this information that it's like, oh, it's going to kill you if you wouldn't like cough it's the wrong way, it's going to take your head off. To actually see them like Marissa's videos or other teaching in classrooms. So when you see them being handled or around and they actually have personalities and they're sensitive and these animals care and they actually are compassionate and have feelings in their own ways, it opens their eyes to take a step back to go, wait a minute, maybe I shouldn't believe everything I read. And it allows me to see these animals in a much different way than what I believe I'm reading when I am sitting on the couch at night, going through videos or internet browsers that half the stuff isn't even true. It's just written by somebody that doesn't really know what they're talking about. And that's like Wikipedia. It's the same thing. So it's really cool that there are people like you guys doing this work constantly, because when I was younger, and Troy knows, we used to bring our animals into nursing homes. So to see the elderly react with our animals that were sensitive and could sense and feel, we had one llama that knew when there was an elderly person that could not physically move enough to come to it. And it would literally crouch down in the room next to the patient. We wouldn't tell it to do that. It knew to do that. But how are you going to teach these people about the smarts or the intelligence or the loving part of these animals?
Unless you have some.
Well, not even just having them, but like you said, in some of like the cities, they don't see these animals.
I treat my animals like you would treat your children. Are you just going to let them run the street and not tell them to come home? And you're just going to, hey kids, you're free. I know you're sticks. Go ahead. Are they in prison too? No, it's just a matter of giving it. And I take that back to being anthropomorphic. Everybody wants to put their emotion on an animal. And that's where we run into a lot of problems.
They cuddle, they love me. When people ask me, they're like, oh, what's a snake's personality? I was like, it's a snake. Its personality is to eat, shit, and eat again and shit again. That's all it wants to do. It wants warmth, food, water.
It's kind of what we all want, really. I mean,
it's so true, man. It's so true.
A little bit of fun in the middle, but I mean,
the anthropomorphizing is just awful, awful. You know, online. That's why I try to stay out of some of those forums, and oh, my ball python cuddles me, he loves me, he can't live without me. I was like, yeah, he can't live without you because he's in a tank, and you give him mice.
Or Marissa, these people.
That is the Diamondback.
I turn my TV on at night for my snake, so it gets no fun.
Oh yeah, Animal Planet.
It's daylight TV. It never gets to sleep.
It never sleeps.
They leave it on so it's not lonely. When someone says that to me, I want to reach in their fucking face, down their throat, and pull their heart out and throw it to my crocodiles. I hate it when I hear that stuff. It's so annoying.
You leave a TV on for the crocs?
No.
You don't have to watch Gator Boys.
The gates open for feral cats.
I leave the radio on for my snakes because they like to hear music.
Oh, see, I'm sorry, Ricky. Ricky lets his listen to music. Anyhow, we're at the top of the hour. We're 8 minutes in. I'm just going to go ahead and cut it off for everybody here because it'll go on forever, and I know it will. So we'll have to do this again. I appreciate all you guys coming out.
Thanks for having me, man.
Jeff, I love having you on. Ricky, you're always a blast. Brittany, thank you for coming in. And Jimmy be co-hosting with me from now on, so it's going to be kind of fun. We'll come up with some more stuff. And I'm sure Maritsa will do something capybara shit or something crazy. And we'll get her to come tell some more stories. Or hopefully we'll be out there with you, Maritsa. I think it'd be a lot of fun to get together.
Well,
and do some
like
stuff
I said,
and,
this Wednesday I'm doing a prelim survey of the Croc Cave. So we're not going all the way in, but we're going to be doing some good surveys. So who knows what we're going to find? Like,
I
I'm
can't
telling
wait
you,
to see what you post.
Well, have
we're gonna
fun.
find- I feel like we're going to find a Maya sacrifice, human sacrifice that hasn't been seen for like hundreds of years. So
I think that's
Take
going
a
to be
lot
awesome.
of pictures and film everything.
Exactly.
Yes. Even those
Yeah.
Spider-Man moves, if you in the cave, are pretty cool too, Marissa. So make sure you do that too.
And
Oh,
they make
absolutely.
Like where you
movies-
you're kind of hanging by your fingertips, pointing at something we can't see it, but you're like, it's right there.
I'm
Get
They
some
make
of
all
those
over
movies
this
of people
Indiana
going into
Jones.
caves looking for shit. So you better watch out.
Yeah.
So
If you see a
Really
gold
awesome.
monkey on a thing, don't take it.
That's right, exactly. Any spiders?
Exactly.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate everybody coming out and
y'all.
having no. And thanks for all the
Fun.
support, guys, for coming and checking us out. This is going to be live, so we'll go ahead and put it back up. It'll be posted on YouTube and Facebook within the next couple hours, so it'll all be open to view. Thanks again, guys, and we are signing.